Hey everyone, Mike Katz here, coming to you today with a midday trader takeaway. So, had a few people reach out to me, ask me about what I'm seeing in a descending triangle in CNET, and I figured I'd do one real quick because it seems like a lot of you guys are interested in the symbol. I was in this guy early on, and let's go over the trade real quick. So, right on the open. Um, it fails at $5. It looks like it's trending up pre-market and it goes above 5, does a very quick reversal, comes back down and starts to go sideways. So I wanted to see if this thing wants to hold 5 and it didn't. So I started getting aggressive on the short side. And I tried not to chase here. I tried not to chase, thinking that I want a good entry near $5 so I could risk versus 521 and get in and get a good risk reward entry because I felt this thing could go back to $4. Excuse me. So I was waiting for my entry. It wasn't really coming. So I got in right here for some 480, thinking that if it goes up, I'll add and then give it that space. But it kept going lower and I didn't want to chase it. I didn't want to chase it to 460. Eventually it came back up and then kept going sideways, came back up and kept going sideways with this 480 range. And I had some on, but I was waiting for the pop to $5 to give me my entry. So eventually I did get it right there. And I put on quite a bit there versus 521, thinking that it'll get rejected by this $5 level, especially since it failed here in this area from pre-market. So I put some on decent size and just hope for the best, right? And then on the first pop back down, I cover half right here, take half off and try to find a spot that I might put it back on. And right now it starts to look like my descending triangle setup, potentially where we had a drop to 460 and this rally fell short of the previous rally, giving me my lower high. And that's what it does, right? So it comes to this level here, back to 460. And now I'm starting to put on my descending triangle hat where I'm not just trading the figure from before. I'm looking for an entry for size on the break of the triangle. And that's exactly what we get here. This thing gives me a little bounce for an entry, right? And when I'm entering right here, I'm entering versus this high 511. So again, decent size. And then when it starts to break 460 right there, I put some more size on, and at this point I am trading versus 481. So whatever I put on here, whatever I put on here, I will cover if it gets above 481, which is this peak right here. It's a VWAP area and the sideways range where it couldn't get above, right? So now I see a lot of red on the tape, a lot of selling, and I would pick certain spots where I would say, okay, it's I remember a couple of spots like right here, 486 bid. If it's 486 bid and 487 offer, they're fighting it out, and then who's going to win? And then what would happen is the 486 bid would get hit and go down and wash down a few cents. To me, that was information that, okay, right now the sellers are winning. And then it starts to develop into this pattern. A few of you guys hit me on IM, on some of the other social media networks, and ask me if this is what I'm seeing. Yes, right? So size in there. So here I'm putting on about 5 times my usual risk, right? So in here it's 1 times my usual risk. Here I'm putting on 5 times my usual risk. And we'll get to the A plus setup where I'm putting on 10 times my usual risk. So size in here and then cover on the wash to 40 right there, 40 and 30. Make my way out of half of what I put on here. And now I patiently have to wait for the bounce. Bounce back to where? 460, right? That's my A plus setup. And I get in. There were a couple of head fakes. Looked like it was going to curl back down, but I didn't fall for it. I wasn't going to chase down here. I had already a decent size on remaining. So if it kept going to $4, fantastic, right? I still have more, but I'm not going to chase it here and size in here. This is where I cover. And then it goes lower. It looked like this thing was not going to give me a retest of 460, but then let's see right here. I got a gift, right? I got this gift right here. Big pop. Somebody probably covering their shorts, puking it out, feeding on each other. Before you know it, this thing pops and gives me my really good setup here for being able to put on really good size right here between 450 and 460 there, and the next few bars as well. And that was it. That was beautiful. Really big position there versus where? Versus right here, 481. And use the next drop to cover right there, 440, 430. And there we go, 430. And then now I think we're down to 420s, which is where I covered some more. And now I'm back to core position, and that's it. I want to see how this works out. So a really great trade for me. My A plus setup presented itself, unfolded really well, and I was able to follow my plan, capitalize, and put on size, 5 times size over here as it's breaking, and 10 times size right here as it's coming back to retest this base, which it broke down from. And you can see on the volume profile, a lot of shares change hands between 460 and 480. So everybody who's stuck long here is looking to sell and break even and put pressure on the stock there. So that was really great trade, and very excited for that. So CNET was one, and then just watching this Netflix from yesterday. We'll see how that plays out. So thank you guys for watching the midday trader takeaway.